It's 4:40 p.m. here in Seoul. I'm Devin Whiting at the Arirang News Center, and it's time for today's briefing from the South Korean health authorities. It looks like that's beginning now. Let's listen in.
And we will also be providing sign language translation. I'll now start the regular briefing for Sunday, July 12th. And I'll first update you on the developments for the past week. From the past week, on a daily average, we had 992 newly confirmed cases compared to 650 from the previous week. There was an increase by around 55%. And for the reproduction rate, it was at 1.14, which is similar to 1.12 from the previous week. And this is showing that we have an increase in the number. And we are seeing especially an increase in the metropolitan area. We have seen quite a big number, and we have seen a 50% increase, and it is accounting for around 81% of the total number from the whole country. And for the non-metropolitan area, for the Chungcheong region and Gyeongnam region, and for the Jeju Island, we saw an increase, and we are also seeing an increase in the non-metropolitan area as well. As for the age groups, we saw a decrease in the numbers from those that are greater than 60 years old. However, we saw an increase in the other age groups, and especially for the people in the 20s, we saw a big increase. And from those in their teens, we also saw an increase by double digit. However, for the senior members that are greater than 60 years old, we saw a reproduction rate of less than 1. And a lot of the infection is coming from gatherings and daily lives. And a lot of the infection is spreading through contacts from daily lives, and it is accounting for 60%. As for the cluster outbreaks, we don't especially see a very big one. However, most of the spread is coming from small contacts in our daily lives, and this is being proven. We don't have a lot of cluster outbreaks. However, we have seen the contamination from various areas such as bars, schools, and after-school institutes and department stores, and etc. And we are seeing variant forms as well. However, it is around 1/3 of the total number, so it is not a dominant form. However, we have seen more of the Delta form as compared to the Alpha form. And for the metropolitan area, we have seen a double the number of the Delta variant as compared to the Alpha variant. In sum, focusing on the metropolitan area, we are seeing an official start of the fourth wave, and we are seeing the spread, especially focusing on the medium age groups, and the number of Delta variants is also increasing as well. We see an increase in the contamination. However, the number is not so big for the senior members who have a higher fatality rate, and it is at around 7.9% for those that are 60 years and older. And therefore, we are keeping a stable number for those that are severely ill, and we are not seeing a sudden increase. But for the accumulated number, we are seeing an increase in the number. And based on this characteristic of the contamination, our medical personnel will focus on all of the patients, and we actually have room for those that are critically ill. We still have room for around 70% of the ICU units, which is around 580 hospital beds. And for those that are with minor illnesses, we still have room amounting to around 53%. However, we are seeing an increase in the mild symptom cases, especially in the metropolitan area. Therefore, we are seeing a capacity tightening in the residential treatment centers. We still don't see any people waiting to be hospitalized. However, we believe that there will be more increase in the patients with mild symptoms or without symptoms. The government is trying trying hard to expand the numbers of hospital beds, and around 5,000 hospital beds are getting ready to become included in the residential treatment center, and the government will strive hard for the disease control measures. Today, the CDC talked about the follow-up measures that comes with the increase in social distancing measures for the SME venture department. The announcement on the July 7th and the one that will be starting in July and August is preparing for the loss prevention and the loss recovery system. And with the limit on the operating hours, there were small businesses that were impacted, and therefore we could actually redeem some of the losses they suffered from such an event. They will go through the deliberation committee, and the SME department will announce those that will be imposed and those that will be given the grants. And this department is making hard so that the small business owners can be benefited. And the Ministry of Labor is making efforts in the metropolitan area as well. It is recommending companies to prevent any dinners or gatherings and also to encourage working at home. And through the foreigner communities, we are also making announcements about the different levels of social distancing measures. And Ministry of Labor is going through monitoring of many different business sites. For singing rooms, PC cafes, restaurants, and for religious facilities, they will be monitored by the local governments. And we are also asking for cooperation from the relevant association. And we are strengthening measures in those areas. For cafes and restaurants and for the entertainment facilities, in order to strengthen disease control measures, we are continuing to convey different measures that are being taken. The government will cooperate with many different departments to strengthen disease control measures, and we will also strive hard to support any small businesses that are suffering from this time. Dear citizens, starting tomorrow, we will be applying level 4 social distancing measure on the metropolitan area. We are seeing small contaminations increasing in our daily lives, and with the Delta variants, we are seeing a faster spread of the disease, and we are entering into the fourth wave of COVID-19 contamination. For level 4 social distancing measure, it is a difficult system, and we apologize for having to apply this in a difficult time, especially when you're feeling tired. We believe that it will be difficult for a lot of our citizens, and it will also be impacting the civilian lives and the businesses of small business owners as well, and we want to apologize for that. However, because of that, we're going to make sure that this measure will be one that will be concentrated and short for a 2 weeks period, and we hope that this will be effective, and we want to ask for your cooperation once again. For the next 2 weeks, we should focus all of our efforts together, and if we can curb the spread of COVID-19, we believe that we will be able to see a stable situation 2 weeks later. Starting tomorrow, those who are between 55 and 59 years old can reserve for Moderna vaccines, and vaccination will start for the first dose from 13,000 consigned areas, and afterwards we are also going to start vaccination for all of the age groups, and we believe that we will be completing it for all of our citizens by the end of September. This will probably be the last time that we suffer before sufficient vaccination, and if we can concentrate our efforts for the next 2 weeks, we will be able to curb COVID-19 and be able to control it at a stable level again. And we have belief about it. So even if it is a little bit difficult, we want to ask, especially the citizens of the metropolitan area, to focus on our efforts together. and please refrain from going outside for the next 2 weeks. Level 4 of social distancing is not about the concept of allowing some activities and not. It is actually trying to refrain from any sort of activities outside of home and to be staying at home as much as possible. And we want to ask you to cooperate once again with us. And if you have even any small signs of symptoms, please be tested at the screening centers nearby. Therefore, we are increasing the number of temporary screening centers for that reason, and we are also making sure that the operating hours are extended overnight and even in holidays as well. The government will strive hard so that we can make such a concentrated effort, and we want to ask the citizens to cooperate with us. Thank you.
And that'll conclude our coverage of this briefing. Thank you for watching. Arirang News will be back at 6 p.m. Korea time. Bye for now.